someone that cannot take blood, saliva, you know, like poo, okay, vomit, okay. There's things like, you know, if you can't take smells, you know, if you can't, you're like, no, I can't see this, I'm gonna throw up. Like, if that's, you know, how you are, you know, maybe this profession of nursing isn't for you. Hey guys, it's Manassa here, and I'm back again with another video. And today I'm going to be starting a series, and this series is all about my process of becoming an RN. So I'm going to do a series of videos from, you know, deciding to be an RN, and this video is going to be discussing the characteristics of an RN and things that I wish I knew and things you'll be exposed to when being a nurse. And if you didn't check out my other video, make sure you check it out. I'm going to put a link somewhere where I just talk about myself and you get to know me. So if you're thinking, oh, do I want to be a nurse? Then this is the first video of the characteristics of a great nurse / things that you will be exposed to. And if you're a nurse, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Even if you're not a nurse and you just like looking at me, just like, you know, hear my voice, you just want to be entertained, subscribe button. Okay, so let's get started. So let's get right into the first category. So the first category is characteristics of becoming a great nurse. So I would say the first thing of becoming a great nurse is being kind, compassionate, empathetic, you know, smiling. Okay, I know not everyone's gonna have their great days, but if you try to stay positive and just realize that these patients that you're taking care of, some of them are in the, like, you know, in my case, I'm a labor and delivery nurse, the worst possible pain of their life. You know, some of them are sick, some of them are even dying, you know, depending on which field you're working with as a nurse. Just being kind, you know, doing unto others as you would like to be done onto you. You know, that's like the golden rule, right? Like, you just want to have a nice nurse, and your patients will love you for it. Your patients will remember you. You know, you're gonna like make their experience, whether good or bad, all the worthwhile. And again, you know, everyone is, you know, you're gonna have bad days. I understand that, but you know, for me, even when I have bad days, I just pray and I just, you know, I just ask God to give me the strength to be the strength for other people, you know? Okay, so number 2, I would say, is having the characteristics of great work ethic, okay? So if you know, like, you have a good drive, you're gonna be, sometimes, depending on what field you work at, so depending on where you're working on, which floor you're working on, you may have like 5-6 patients. You know, you're gonna be up and moving, going from patient A, B, C, D, E, you know, you're gonna have to have that drive, that will to work. You know, if you're lazy, you know, I know everyone has their lazy moments, but if you're like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do a lot of work, I don't want to, you know, work at all, you know, maybe nursing isn't for you, because you're gonna have to sometimes work your am I allowed to say ass on YouTube? I don't know, but you're gonna be working really hard. Even for me being a labor and delivery nurse, I'm gonna get more specific, you know, when I actually make a video on that, but you're working your butt off, okay? Like, you know, you're helping screaming women who are crying in the most excruciating pain of their life. I don't even know what it's gonna be like, you know. I can imagine, you know, but I don't even know what it's like personally, because I ain't got no kids yet. But having that drive, helping them, you know, do you need water? You know, what do you need? If you work on other floors like med surg, you're gonna have a whole bunch of patients, and they're gonna be demanding, you know. They're not doing it on purpose. It's just like they have their needs, and you're gonna have to adhere to their needs. So making sure that you have that great work ethic, you know. For me, I'm always like, work is not if you're working for man, but work is if you're working for God, and work with all your heart. You know, if you can't tell by now, I'm a Christian, okay? You know, just counting on God to help me, pour into me so I can pour into others. It's what really helped me in my nursing career and helps me become a great nurse, just having that work ethic, work drive. But if you plan on just sitting down and doing nothing as hours go by, you know, this may not be a job for you. Maybe if you work at a clinic, maybe it's gonna be like that. I don't know, I don't work in a clinic. But if you're doing bedside nursing, especially in a hospital, you're gonna have to have that work ethic, okay? So making sure you have that work ethic. Number 3, this kind of goes into having great work ethic, but being helpful. So you're not only going to be helping patients, sometimes you're going to have to be helping your colleagues. And trust me, if people see that they're helping them, they're going to return the favor and help you as well. So making sure you're just helpful in general. You know, I talked about it before about work ethic, about, you know, like adhering to patients' needs, catering to people's needs. You know, like they're gonna be asking for things, they're gonna be in pain, they're gonna, like, you know, it's like you're a nurse. Like, what is the definition of a nurse? You are a person trained to care. Okay, keywords: care. Okay, you're trained to care for them, right? So being very helpful, you know, trying to help. If you already have that characteristic where you want to help others, you know, you have that will, you have that drive, you know, this may be a great profession for you. The willingness to help others, you know, that's gonna make you a great nurse. And that's a characteristic that, you know, if you don't have, no one really wants a miserable, unhelpful nurse, right? Not only that, but being organized. Okay, organization is not something that you need to have. If you're not organized and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not organized, I can't be. No, that's something that can be learned, and becoming a nurse will even make you more organized. I wasn't the most organized person, but becoming a nurse gets you there. It gets you to be very organized, knowing what you have to do, because you got to protect your license, okay? But being organized is definitely going to be helpful in making you thrive of becoming a nurse. So if you're already organized, kudos to you. You know, you're going to thrive in this. But if you're not, don't worry. You can definitely get there becoming a nurse. And it's not going to be like overnight, but you will definitely learn how to be organized. It's a super important characteristic for you to become a great nurse, because it will protect your license. It will make you stay on top of what you need for your patients, what you got to do for your patients. Being organized is going to save you, like, in the long run. But yeah, I feel like I covered it all. These are key characteristics that's gonna make you thrive at becoming a nurse. And if this is not something that you are, you know, this is something that can be learned, you know. But if you know this, I cannot do that, then, you know, maybe you should think twice. Okay, so let's get into the second category. And in this category, I'm going to be talking about things you will be exposed to when you're a nurse, okay? And this is something that, like, in nursing school, when we went to long-term care homes, you know, it's not saying that you have to work in specific, like, you know, settings like long-term care homes, but people dropped out because they're like, no, this is not for me. You know, but there's different settings in nursing. So I'm talking primarily bedside nursing, you know, in hospitals, maybe long-term care homes is what you're going to be exposed to. But, like, you know, if you work in a clinic, it may be different. But this is what most nurses are exposed to: bodily fluids, okay? Things that coming out of your mouth, out of your behind, out of your frontier, you know, things, fluids that come out of your nose, everything, you're gonna be seeing it, okay? Depending on where you are, even in nursing school, they want you to have a well-rounded picture of what a nurse is like, or different fields of nursing. So you will be exposed to these things, okay? So if you're someone that cannot take blood, saliva, you know, like poo, okay, vomit, okay, there's things like, you know, if you can't take smells, you know, if you can't, you're like, no, I can't see this, I'm gonna throw up. Like, you see, like, you're gonna throw up, you're gonna faint, I can't even eat my food no more. If that's, you know, how you are, you know, maybe this profession of nursing isn't for you, okay? I was the type of person that literally I would be watching, you know, ER, and I'd be like watching it, being so intrigued, you know, like I didn't care to like kill a bug and it splats everywhere, and I'm like, you know, blood, you know, that's just me. So, like, if you're the type of person that, you know, you cannot stand bodily fluids, you cannot stand, like, you know, spit, blood, poo, like, you know, from other people, and if you cannot you know, stand smells, you know, maybe this isn't the job for you, okay? Not saying that you can't maybe grow into it, but I know people who literally cannot do it. Like, even as a labor and delivery nurse, my own patients, you know, after I, like, you know, their baby's delivered, they tell me, they're like, how can you do this? How can you do this? Oh my gosh, I could never do this. And I'm like, well, you know, there's somebody for everybody. You know, I could be pushing with the patient and thinking like, damn, I got jollof rice and chicken for lunch. Yes, I can't wait to eat that after this. Like, you know, it doesn't turn me off. It doesn't, like, I'm not like, ugh, Not saying there's moments where I'm like, you know, every time I'm like, oh, this is great. No, there's moments where I'm like, okay, you know, a little funky and stuff like that. But like for me, like it doesn't bother me. And if it's gonna bother you, you might have to think twice, okay? So being a nurse, you're gonna be exposed to all sorts of people, okay? Your patients are gonna be coming from ethnic backgrounds, like different upbringings. They're just gonna be like humans that you don't know, who are in the worst possible situation sometimes, you know, if they're sick, going through surgery, if they're about to have a baby, you know, specifically for me, what I have to go through. You know, some of them will not be their best selves, okay? You know, that's why the characteristics of, you know, being understanding and kind comes in, you know, compassionate, empathetic, because you won't be exposed to some rude patients. Let me just put it that way, okay? You're going to be exposed to people you're going to be like, what the heck? Like, I'm trying to help you. Some of them will not receive your kindness. Some of them will not receive even the care that you're giving them. And you cannot take it to heart. Do not take it to heart, okay? But you will be exposed to some patients that are like that. You know, some people are just having bad days. So do not take offense to it. You know, try to just, you know, just brush it off. It's more about them than it is about you. So brush it off, let it slide off, because not everyone's going to be nice to you. Even if you're nice to them, they're not going to be nice to you. So also don't have that expectation that, you know, I did this for you. You know, I helped you with your bed bath. You know, I cleaned your butt. You know, not saying that you're going to be that type of nurse, but, you know, depending on where you are and what field you are, it's like you're going to be helping them with their meds and everything. And some patients will just be rude, okay? So everyone comes from a different background, how they were raised, you know, different situations from their home life and everything like that. So just having understanding of, like, you know, not everyone's going to be like you. Not everyone's gonna be sweet like you, kind like you, you know, but not everyone's gonna be as compassionate as you. So it's okay, you just brush it off. And for me, the saying, kill them with kindness. Honestly, like, I'm just kind to everybody. I try to be kind even if they are rude. You know, the patients who are rude to you, family members who are rude of the patient, I find that even if you're nice and you don't match their energy of rudeness, that wall like just kind of comes down slowly, you know. They're just like, oh, this nurse isn't so bad, you know. This nurse is listening to me. Because sometimes you never know the situations where they can, you know, what happened previously to them. Sometimes they may have had a bad experience with another nurse, so maybe they think, oh, this nurse is going to be just like that nurse, right? So just have that understanding that not everyone is going to come in like smiling and be like, thank you for caring for me. Some of them are just going to be rude. So just be as kind as you can, and trust me, like, being kind, like, they're gonna even feel bad. They're gonna be like, why am I being such, I'm joking, like, why am I being so rude? Like, what's my problem? Even if they don't realize it, you know, you can have the satisfaction that you didn't stoop to their level and you're still as positive as you can be. But you will be exposed to some rude patients, some rude family members. It's more about them than it is about you. So don't take it to heart, or brush it off. You got this. You gonna rock it, okay? So we talked about the patients, so now let's talk about the coworkers. And guys, unfortunately, not every coworker is gonna be nice. Not every coworker is gonna be on your side, guys. Like, there's some rude coworkers too, okay? It's unfortunate, but that's just how it is. But you being the great nurse with the characteristic of being kind, you know, just let it go. Again, do not take it personal. Sometimes they're just going through it. You know, not every coworker is gonna be helpful. Some coworkers are just gonna be mean too. Some honestly are like bullies. And if it gets to that point, stand up for yourself. Let them know how you feel about it. If they continue, go to your manager, okay? Your manager is supposed to be there to help you, and hopefully you have a manager where you can open up to and talk to. Do not just brush it off all the time if it's actually affecting how your day is going. If it's affecting your job and your work, make sure you let the person know. And if they're still not stopping, make sure you let your manager know. Some of the nurses advise to actually write down events that happen. So, you know, if on February 6th, you know, this person did this, you write it down. So then you have a series of events of when this coworker did what to you, so that when you do go to your manager, you could be like, there's this many instances that this happened, and the manager knows, oh, whoa, like, this is not something that, like, when they're asking you to provide examples, when did this coworker do this to you, you're not gonna be like, oh, you know, I remember that one time. No, you're gonna have, it's like, okay, so on December 2nd, 2020, blah, blah, blah. Then on January 14th, blah, blah, blah. I told them repeatedly, they didn't stop, blah, blah. You know, have that trail, because it could be your word against theirs. But if they see that, okay, there's events that happen, this person wrote it down, it is serious. But again, first try to go to your coworker, have them understand where you're coming from, and let them know, okay, what you're doing, like, I don't like it. So making sure that they're aware of it. But if they keep doing it, then you got to go to the next level, and that would be the manager. But yeah, so you're gonna be exposed to rude coworkers that aren't nice to you, just as you would in any type of job. Not everyone's gonna be as nice as you are. It sucks. It sucks, but it's life, and it just builds your characteristic, you know, in dealing with every type of personality. You know, you become stronger, you know, when you deal with those type of people. You're just like, yes, I could do this. You ain't gonna bring me down, you know. I'm still gonna be the best nurse that I can be with a positive attitude, and it's possible, okay? So stress, guys. As a nurse, you're gonna go through stress, especially if you're a new nurse, because you're learning new skills. Your license is on the line too, because you know you're trying to be as competent as you can with the skills that you're learning. And mistakes do happen and can happen, but you don't want there to be any mistakes. So that's very stressful, right? You just feel like you have such a huge burden on your hands. If you're a new grad nurse or a nursing student, follow me, because I will be sharing my stories of being a new nurse and how I dealt with like anxiety and stress and everything like that. So make sure you subscribe. For me, like, I just prayed. First of all, pray in my experience. And for me, prayer was number one, to make sure that I just knew that, like, you know, if anything, you know, God has me, don't be worried. Because the thing is that you're going to be worrying. A lot of the worry and the stress comes from just overthinking. So I don't want to overthink and have my mind worried. So I just release it. You know, I'm like, I give it to you, God. And, you know, you just learn your skill, and you know that you're new, and you have coworkers that will help you. And if you don't feel competent in a skill, or if you don't feel like, okay, I haven't learned enough, I haven't been trained in this, make sure that your coworkers, your resource nurse, your team leader, your manager, whoever it is that is in charge of teaching you, make sure that they're aware, so that they don't throw you into something that you're not prepared for, which is more stressful. So make sure that they're aware, and that they build, like, you know, you build up the confidence in your skill, but also put yourself in situations where you can actually apply the skills that you've learned, so that you become better at it. If you're always, you know, shy and you don't want to do it, and you're like, oh, I'm not that good at it, there's moments where you can, like, make itty bitty mistakes, you know, like starting an IV. Oh, I missed a vein. Okay, like, you know, try it again. You know, make sure you put yourself into situations where you can practice, so that you get better at it, or else you're just gonna stay in that state of stress, especially when they call you to be that nurse, to do those different, whatever skill it may be. So make sure that you're actually, like, you know, applying the skills that you learn. If you're not that good at it, it's okay. We all had to start somewhere, and you're just gonna progress and get better. But yeah, stress is something that you will be exposed to when you're a nurse. And like, you know, you may be anxious, especially being a new grad nurse, but it does get better with time, and I will make a video specifically on that. So make sure you subscribe to my channel. Just know that you can do this, and you can do all this through Christ who gives you strength, okay? And if you're honestly not comfortable in a skill, or you know you cannot do the skill, do not say I can do it, okay? Because then your license is on the line, okay? Like, if you cannot do it and it can harm someone, do not do it, okay? And I'm not talking about like a poke, like, ow. No, I'm talking about, like, you know, like, oh, I don't know what this narcotic drug does. Okay, first of all, research it, use your resources. But like, there's some things that, don't try to be the hero. If you're trained in it, then like go for it, you know what I mean? There's a difference. Another thing that you will be exposed to is, like, you'll be exposed to things that are happening to patients, like, depending on what kind of nurse you are. You know, it could be, if you're an ER nurse, exposed to, like, gunshot wounds, traumatic injuries, things like that. Like, just be ready for the stress even of others, and just know again that, you know, the burden's not all on you. Like, you're just there to help as much as you can. Don't take it too hard. You know, not everyone can save everyone. Unfortunately, you know, the worst thing that can happen too is that, like, a patient dies. It could be naturally, it could be from a traumatic wound that they experience, and you're an ER nurse trying to help out. So that can be a stressful situation. For us, in labor and delivery, it's dealing with stillbirths, or, you know, miscarriages and things like that. and it's very like, you know, stressful. It's very sad, so you're going to be exposed to sad situations. And yeah, just for me, like, you know, again, I always rely on my prayers, God, to like give me strength, to help me, to help others. Because although we're in that experience with that patient is actually going through the worst of it, right? It's happening to them. You know, you're just there to witness it, kind of thing. So just do the best that you can. If it's just, you know, being there to listen to the patient, if it's just like saying no words and just like, you know, holding their hand and helping them get through these situations, just being as strong as you can for that patient. And then when you go home, you know, you can cry, you can do whatever it takes to, like, you know, relieve that sadness, or, you know, whatever, watch a show, eat a tub of ice cream. Try to do it in healthy ways, but you know, you're human too, right? So there will be times where it's stressful moments, sad moments, you know, that you're just gonna have to be there for the patient. Like, that's why being a nurse is like so rewarding too, because you can be there to really uplift someone, and to like, even if it's like your presence isn't really uplifting, like even just being there can be just like such a great moment for a patient, to just have someone there to be with them so they're not alone. But yeah, you're gonna be exposed to those things, so just beware of that, okay? It's not all happy-go-lucky, especially even in labor and delivery. From my experience of being a labor and delivery nurse, mostly it's like all nice, and you know, you're helping deliver babies. You know, some mamas are screaming and everything, you know, some of them are even kicking you. But no, it's mostly nice and everything. But sometimes we do have, you know, those stillbirths, and you know, it's really unfortunate. But just being there for the patient, and just knowing that this is part of life too, and helping as much as you can in any way that you can. So another thing you're going to be exposed to as a nurse is long shifts, okay? If you guys do not like working long shifts, okay, because sometimes you're going to be a nurse who has to work 12-hour shifts. A lot of bedside nursing, especially hospital nursing jobs, unless you work in the OR, you know, where they have 5 days a week, or clinics, a lot of nursing jobs besides that, you're going to be working 12-hour shifts, guys, and it is long. But you can do it, and you know, you're still getting paid for it. You know, you're not working for free. There may be a possibility, depending on what nurse you're gonna be, that there will be long shifts, okay? Not only day shifts, but night shifts, okay? And sometimes, depending on your contract, you have to work both days and nights. Personally, I prefer day shifts, because at nighttime I just feel like sleeping, okay? It's just, you know, your circadian system of where you just like, you know, the sun sets, it's dark out, you just want to pass out, you want to sleep. But at nighttime too, like, you know, you just have your nighttime routines. You can do it. For me, as a full-time nurse, I do 2 days, 2 nights, and then I get 5 days off. So you get like a nice mini vacation. I actually have work tomorrow, and this, like, the 5 days off go by so fast. First of all, the first day you're sleeping because you just came from your last night shift. Then you have your 4 days, but like, you just literally, like, it goes by so fast. You're gonna be going through long 12-hour shifts. I put them in thirds, so like, you know, you work from, so ours is 7:30 to 7:30. Yeah, days or nights. Yeah, it seems like it's long. It's long. So we're working 7:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. or 7:30 p.m. to 7:30 a.m. Okay, it's long, and I put them in thirds. You know, so like, you're working, when you work from 7:30 to 11:30, that's the first third, okay? Then 11:30 to, I believe, 3:30, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, and then after 3:30 to 7:30. So, you know, you divide them into 4. For me, what I recommend is to don't be checking the time. If you're checking the time, it's going to be going by slowly. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, wait, it's only 10 a.m.? Damn. For me, I like literally just like interact with your patients, your coworkers. Try not to look at the clock. When your days are busier, it goes by faster. You know, when, like, from us in like labor and delivery, if you have, like, we call them babysitting a patient. Let's say your patient is not really dilated, and you're trying to get her labor going, and now she has an epidural, and you're just trying to get her dilated so she's comfortable. It's just like, those are the shifts that go by slower. But you know, I'm not complaining, because you still getting paid, okay? You're working 12 hours, but you still getting paid. And not only that, when you're working 12 hours, you get more days off, okay? So make sure you look into your contract. If it's 8-hour days, you know, if you know you can only do 8 hours, then that's it. then you know, look for those jobs. If you're willing to do 12 hours, the benefit of 12-hour shifts is that you get more days off. So some nurses I know who work in the States, they actually have contracts where they work all night shifts, 12-hour shifts, like literally all night shifts, and I'm like, whoa, I cannot do that. But there's some of my coworkers love night shifts, you know, so I'm like, yo, take my night shifts. So sometimes you can find that mix and match. Find a coworker who loves night shifts, you love day shifts, be like, here you go, take my night shifts and I'll take your day shifts. You know, you could do that. You could work with your coworkers, you could do switches and things like that. You're gonna be exposed to long shifts, so be prepared for that. And sometimes it's not going to be like go every shift, but there's some shifts for us where it's like literally like laboring woman after laboring woman, delivery after delivery, got to do baby care. We also work in the OR because we do C-section, so you know, your girl can scrub and circulate in the OR, so you know, you're going to be working those long shifts, but those shifts go by fast. And again, even if the shift is dragging along, it feels so long, even if it feels like it's the worst possible shift, just know it's just the 12 hours, you're done, and you're getting paid for it, okay? Even though I say money is not like, you know, the overall thing, like, you know, it's not the reason why, you know, some people like it's the reason why. For me, it wasn't. Like, I found out, I think, in like when I was actually in nursing school, they're like, oh, nurses get paid this, and I'm like, oh, they do? Okay, that's cool, that's cool. You know, I'm just like, I just wanted something that could be steady, help others, and everything like that. So now we're gonna get to reasons why I want to become a nurse. So ironically, you know, I wanted to become a nurse not only to help others, you know, and I knew it would be a good steady job that, you know, you're gonna get paid well, but I actually wanted also a job that I knew, like, if the world shut down, you know, they still need nurses. And guess what? That actually happened. The world shut down and I was working. Like in March 2020, when everything shut down in Canada, in Toronto, I was working as a nurse. Like, it was still go, okay? So if you want, you know, something where it's like steady, you're getting good income, you know, it's a great reason to become a nurse. The pay is good too. Some nurses are like, oh, we don't get paid enough, we're getting taxed and everything. I'm like, it is what it is, you know. This is just how it goes. And for me, when you get taxed, just know you're helping others too. Like, especially in Canada, our taxes go to schools, it goes to people who don't have as much money, people who are on disability, things like that. We're helping the world go round. Okay, so I hope this video was very informative and you guys have more of an idea of the characteristics it takes to be a great nurse and things that you'll be exposed to, helping with your decision on if you want to be a nurse. The career is very rewarding, so make sure that if this is something that you do want to do, make sure you like go hard in it, because school can be difficult and we're going to go into that. That's going to be a video, and I'm going to have a video of how I passed everything, so make sure you check that out. Make sure this is something that you want to do, because if it isn't, like, you're gonna want to drop out, okay? And if you like making good money, you know, that if that's a factor too, like, you know, just be a nurse too, because you gonna get a job. There's jobs and you get paid well and you're very respected. You know, right now they're calling us heroes, you know, even though I honestly feel that everyone who even works in a grocery store, gas station, you know, everybody's a hero. But you're recognized as a nurse and it's very gratifying. So I really hope that this helped anyone out there who thinks they want to become a nurse or who's looking to be a nurse, and that it was very informative for you. Make sure you check out my last video if you want to get to know more about me, and there will be a next video in my series, and I believe we'll see what the next video is in my series. I'm trying to go in order. It's probably going to be how I got into nursing school. So make sure you subscribe to my channel, because I will have lots of video about nursing, becoming an RN, and the whole process of it. From the NCLEX to being in my specialty, from being in nursing school to passing and graduating. So make sure you follow me and all my social medias as well. And yeah, let's just keep vibing. Make sure you subscribe. It was fun doing this video, and I'll check you out on the next one. Subscribe. Have you subscribed yet?